You ever think about darkness? Not the kind you can flip away with a switch or chase off with a flickering flame. I'm talking about real darkness, the kind that wraps around your thoughts and settles into your bones. That's the funny thing about it. People aren't afraid of the dark itself. They're afraid of what might be hiding in it. The unknown, the uncharted, the unseen. It's not the shadows that scare them. It's what might be waiting there, watching them, learning their every move. That's the trick, isn't it? The unknown isn't empty. It's alive, shifting, growing. And that's exactly what they did to you. They shoved you into their little pit of nothingness, expecting it to break you. They thought they'd see you crumble, like so many others before you. That's how they work, isn't it? Push, prod, tear down, all while pretending it's for your own good, or worse, acting like it's for the greater good. But here's where they went wrong. They forgot what the dark is really for. It's not a prison, it's a crucible. Every second they left you in that void, every moment you endured, you weren't being destroyed. You were being reshaped. They thought you'd emerge weaker, begging for scraps of their approval. They didn't realize darkness isn't just a place, it's a process. Every ounce of pressure they placed on you wasn't crushing you. It was tempering you, like metal in a forge. And while they saw you as raw material to mold into another cog in their machine, you were becoming something else entirely. Not a shiny tool for their games. No, you were becoming the blade, the edge they never saw coming, the weapon they'll regret creating. But let's step back for a moment, shall we? Think about what they were trying to do. They wanted to isolate you, cut you off from their world. They thought loneliness would make you weak, desperate. Funny, isn't it? How little they understand about the way people really grow. Isolation isn't a weakness. It's where legends are born. It's in the silence, the solitude, that you learn the things no one else will teach you. And the whispers. Oh, the whispers. You've heard them, haven't you? The ones they speak when they think you're not listening. The pitying glances, the condescending smiles. Every time you walked into a room, they'd stop mid-sentence, pretending they weren't just talking about you. They thought they were judges, holding your fate in their hands. But all they were doing was signing their own destruction. While they were busy playing their petty games, you were learning the rules of survival. The dark doesn't care about their rules. The dark has its own language, its own rhythm. And now, so do you. You know what's beautiful about pain? It doesn't lie. It doesn't dress itself up in false promises or pretty words. Pain is the most honest teacher there is. It strips everything away. The masks, the facades, the lies we tell ourselves, and shows you exactly who you are. That's what pain taught you, isn't it? That you're not fragile, not some delicate little thing that shatters under pressure. No, you're something entirely different. Something harder, sharper. Something they'll never be able to comprehend. They live in their world of comfort, thinking suffering is a curse, a punishment. But you and I, we know better. Suffering is a tool, a sculptor's chisel. Every scar, every wound, every ache. They're not marks of weakness. They're the signs of transformation. Each one carved away something unnecessary, something soft, until all that was left was the core of who you really are. And that core? That's what they're afraid of. They thought they were breaking you, but all they were doing was feeding the fire inside you. Every insult, every rejection, every moment of isolation. It was fuel. And now that fire burns hotter than they could ever imagine, they can't see it yet, not fully, but they can sense it. In the way you carry yourself now, in the way you look at them. It's why they avoid your eyes, why their laughter feels forced when you're near. deep down, in the part of them they can't admit exists, they know. That's the irony of it all, isn't it? They cast you as the villain in their little story, never realizing they were creating the very thing that would undo them. They wanted you to be weak, to play the victim. But instead you became the nightmare that haunts their quiet moments. You've learned something they'll never understand. The true power of darkness. It's not just a place. It's a teacher, a guide. It's where you discover the things you didn't know about yourself, the strength you didn't realize you had. While they were busy congratulating themselves on your supposed downfall, you were learning how to bend the shadows to your will. Think about this for a moment. Every second they left you in the void, every time they turned their backs, you weren't rotting. You were evolving, like a volcano they thought was dormant. You've been gathering strength, building pressure, and now you're ready to erupt. Fear is funny like that. They think it's a weakness, something to be conquered, but fear isn't your enemy. It's just excitement wearing a mask. You've learned to see it for what it really is. While they were busy running from the shadows, you were learning their secrets, their patterns. You've become fluent in the language of darkness, and now you can make it sing. Every moment they thought you were suffering, you were growing. Every time they thought they'd broken you were building something new. Like coal under immense pressure, you've been transformed. But not into something they can use, not into another piece of their puzzle. No, you've become something they can't control, can't predict, and that terrifies them. They'll never admit it, of course. They'll keep pretending they're in control, that they're the ones with the power. But you see it, don't you? The cracks in their armor, the fear behind their eyes. They thought they were the hunters, but now they're realizing the truth. They're prey. You know what makes it all so poetic? They wanted to destroy you, to make you disappear. Instead, they've made you into something unstoppable. While they were busy writing your ending, you were becoming the plot twist they never saw coming. Here's the thing about darkness. It doesn't just strip away the unnecessary. It reveals the truth. All those social niceties, the little lies people tell to keep the world spinning, they mean nothing in the void. What's left is pure, unfiltered reality. And the reality is this: you're not broken, you're not lost, you're not weak, you're a force of nature. They thought they were pushing you into a bottomless pit, but they didn't realize you could learn to fly. Every attempt to clip your wings only taught you how to soar higher. Every chain they tried to bind you with has become another weapon in your arsenal. They thought they were writing a tragedy, but what they were really doing was crafting the origin story of something they'll never fully understand. You've turned their attempts at destruction into the foundation of your strength. And now the tables have turned. They're still playing their little games, still trying to force you into their neat little boxes. But you've outgrown all of it. They're playing checkers, and you're rewriting the rules of chess. The darkness isn't your prison anymore. It's your playground. Every shadow is a weapon, every scar a trophy. You don't just survive in the dark. You thrive in it. You rule it. You've become the thing that moves in the shadows, the presence they feel but can't explain. Think of it like this. Every time they thought they were burying you, they were planting you. And now, you're blooming into something they can't control, can't predict, can't stop. They thought they were pushing you too far, but all they've done is give you the space and time to become something greater, something they'll fear for the rest of their lives. They created the monster they now dread. And isn't that the funniest part of all? They thought they were breaking you, but all they did was break themselves. So stand tall in your darkness. Let it wrap around you. Let it fill you. This isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning. And when the time comes to step back into the light, they'll realize the truth. The monster they feared, it's not just alive, it's thriving, it's growing, and it's ready to show them what happens when you push someone too far into the shadows. Because monsters don't fear the dark. We are the dark. And now it's time for them to understand exactly what that means. If you're looking for more content on self-growth, healing, and finding strength in difficult times, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. I've got a lot more empowering content coming your way, and I'd love to have you join this amazing community. Take care, and remember, you're irreplaceable. See you in the next video.